Going through this section, you will become familiar with the concept of evolution through examples of everyday life. You'll be able to explain the observed characteristics of living organisms according to natural selection theory. In each discipline, there is a unifying theory, a cohesive backbone. The theory we will discuss in this section is the basis of all biological sciences. Without this, the world could not be properly understood through just the mind. We are talking about the theory of evolution, which claims that all living organisms are the products of evolution experienced by earlier organisms. Natural selection is for biology what periodic table is for chemistry or Newton's theory for physics. Without knowing the theory of species evolution, children will never be able to see their common points of origin with other creatures. They will never be able to see the world as a whole and therefore love it. They will never be able to acquire an ecological consciousness. When you feel that you don't have a brotherly relationship with the other species on this planet, the animals, the flowers, you do not respect them, you consider them inferior to you. Most of us grew up with a Little Red Riding Hood fairy tale. Do you remember the story well? When the girl arrives at her grandmother's house, she notices that her grandmother looks very strange. Little Red Riding Hood then says, "What big ears you have!" "The better to hear you with," responds the wolf. "Goodness, what big eyes you have!" "The better to see you with," responds the wolf. "And what big mouth you have!" "The better to eat you with," responds the wolf. We have grown accustomed to such expressions, which are often used even in everyday life. For example, we say, "Why the toes of the dog are connected by a membrane?" "The better to swim." "Why the whale have a thick layer of fat in its body?" "The better to keep its vital organs warm while in cold climates." "Why are polar bears white in color?" "The better to camouflage themselves against the ice, thus helping them to hide themselves from their prey." Yet, from a scientific standpoint, all these expressions are wrong and not consistent with the theory of evolution. For example, is it correct to say that the bear changes its color in order not to be visible by its enemies, given that the color is strictly controlled by some genetic information contained in the DNA of the bear?